Hey everybody, and welcome back for another match analysis. This is our second part of our two-parter with Max Havlin, where he's going to kind of really look into the bludger game and kind of give me more breakdowns than I can, because for anyone who's ever watched me beat, I'm not a very good beater. So Max, thanks for coming on again.
Hello, I'm happy to be here again.
So today we're going to be looking at the European Games final between France and Belgium from last summer. So this is the Belgian team that made the World Cup finals in 2018. And this France team, we've actually watched them a bunch on this channel already because we watched their game against Norway. We also watched them as the Paris Titans in the EQC final last year. This game's going to be a little different. These two teams are going to play zone defenses, and I think we'll talk about that as things go on. But other than that, let's get into it.
One thing I do want to point out right away is Louis is left-handed, which definitely, if you ever play against left-handed beaters, you have to definitely change your game a little bit when you play against really good left-handed beaters. Just because both are throwing the same way, so there's a lot more bludgers in the air collisions.
For those who don't know, Louis is the Belgian male beater. He's been kind of their star player at both beater and quaffle player for years now, and I'm not going to attempt his last name. So France instantly subs out, so they just, we see that more and more in the U.S. too. Just use your fastest athletes to try to get the bludgers because it's so valuable. I think this view eventually does zoom in. There it is.
Yeah, there we go. Whew, okay.
So Belgium being really conservative with their bludgers. This is
Belgium beater right now. Louis at Hoops is doing an awesome job. Still paying attention to quaffle, but yet is paying attention to the other bludger, which is off the screen right now behind Hoops.
Yeah, and his teammate is also literally covering that bludger, basically not covering quaffle play at all. And Belgium's doing a look that we saw out of Australia a lot, where the keeper headband player is the one standing at point, because by standing just inside the keeper zone, you are protected from tap beats. And you can see this 2-2 zone from Belgium. I don't like the positioning of the 2-2 zone. It should not be two people on each of the outside hoops because that's just begging for a shot to the middle hoop. Both players should be tucked a little bit further. Like if you're playing hoop zone, you could set up like this, but not 2-2.
I like France quaffle to move around a little.
Yeah. No, that was not the look we wanted. But that's what we've seen from France, right? They're very dependent on their drivers to dish, and it seemed like they were kind of lost against that zone for a second.
That was a great overall fast break play. As soon as the quaffle turnover happened, Louis started going right away.
Yeah, let's watch the whole thing back.
Half control, boom. Goes right away.
Yep.
And he does another throw here coming up.
Yeah, creates no bludger right off of that. Or they didn't even have bludger control, so they ran against bludger control and got bludger control and a goal. And the keeper is controlled enough that, like, let's say either of those throws from Louis failed, he could have pulled up. He wasn't, like, committed to the drive at any point. France there was kind of, you're going to see they kind of play a hoop zone in this game. The problem with hoop zone in a no bludger situation is that you're so tight to the hoops that by the time you make contact with the player, they can often just release through the shot anyway.
Oh, good catch.
And that's also a great catch. That's a perfectly executed press as well from Louis.
Yeah, that was really nice. Quaffle definitely, they need to know where he's coming, but still on point beats.
Yep.
Cross.
But yeah, that press we talked about, once he had the two bludgers, he went around the back of the quaffle, took away the pass options behind the ball, because you're never really that worried about the pass options going forward when you're the only team with bludgers. And another well-executed fast break, so 20-0 Belgium.
Nice throwback. Oof.
Right, so they
going guarding that hoop at all?
So we'll go back. So my first question is, so this is the second time Etienne and Louis faced off over the course of a couple months. God, this is And the first time from what I know, Louis just kept throwing back on every exchange. So as a beater, how do you adjust to somebody doing that against you?
You have to work with your partner. And Quaffle, honestly. There are two things you can do. Your partner, if you are going against someone who traditionally throws back, your partner has to be in a position to at least threaten of catching that throwback, or at least kicking it from their hoops to yours. And then also, if the Quaffle knows, like, the Quaffle right here ends up getting a goal, but they should be going instantly as soon as this throw is happening.
Yeah. And it does look like Belgium switched back to a man defense, but then sat too deep to be playing a man defense, right? Because you can't let somebody basically get to the keeper zone if there is not multiple people guarding the hoops.
That's another fast break. Yeah.
Somebody needed to hit that original Quaffle player about like 5 seconds earlier. It literally looked... we're having a bit of a jumpy stream, but it looked like he basically just walked into the keeper zone. Yeah, I didn't think France necessarily was having physicality problems in any of the other games we've watched, but they just have not hit Belgium so far.
Ooh, double beat exchange.
Yep. France is going to get budget control off that. And now this is the same thing you were saying last time, right? Like, so I think something we saw a lot in the early days of the U.S. going up against 2-2 zones. This isn't even a 2-2. I think it's more of a 2-1-2, like what or 1-2-1, which is what Virginia runs, where you have one player all the way behind. But you need to move the ball, right? This whole zone is built to put a lot of bodies in between you and the hoops if you're standing right at the point defender spot, basically. And by him just holding it, he's not doing anything to stretch this Belgium defense right now.
Yeah, and if you back it up to where they exchange beats.
Is this far enough?
Yeah, that's good. So when they exchange that back beater in Belgium, you need to read this play. It's very obvious that Quaffle's not doing it. She could have easily made a step, the more advantageous step, and just clear out the French beater right there and keep control. I think you have that half, maybe 1 second, especially if Quaffle's not going. If Quaffle's going, then you do stay. Right,
yeah. I think that's something a lot of younger, less experienced beaters do, where they prioritize, keeping a bludger in the Quaffle game to the point where they're missing chances to retain control.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just has no interest in moving the ball around.
You would think the keeper as well that could make it step a little bit too.
Yeah.
Nice shot though.
Yeah, that's a better attack. The Belgian player behind the hoop should have been covering that pass though. Like that's his assumed job back there. Like that was a floaty pass that should not have gotten all the way to the keeper. But I mean, we've talked a lot about attacking those zones from behind when you can.
Oh, that's that. But just hitting midair because of the two different arms.
Yep. Good job keeping budget control there. So now we're getting a full hoops defense, a Baylor zone from France. And against Baylor zone, you really want to work from the side of the hoops because right now when you're looking at them, they're kind of covering, what is that, 12 yards worth of space from player to player. But if you're attacking from the side, they're covering literally 2 yards of space, those three players, because they're all in a line, basically, of defense. And I think Belgium, if I remember correctly, just kind of keeps things very narrow a lot. Like, that ball should just go right out to that wing chaser right there. He's wide open on the wing. And this is better.
Ooh, nice move. Ooh.
No, I really like the general ideas of the attack there. I would like to see a little bit more incisive cuts after the first pass.
Oof.
Yeah, no. Yeah, these teams are so drive and dish meta heavy that you can just kind of see how hard it is for them to break out of that. Oh,
let's break that away.
Yeah,
that's a good play. A lot of teams get scared of like a budget back, but if you have the numbers, even if it's 2 chasers versus 1 beater, you go at it.
Right.
You have the advantage.
Because even though Louis makes that beat, his ball goes away and a chaser picks it up.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why it's always so terrifying. Yeah, that's why it's a lot of goal scoring, but basically all on fast breaks.
A new Belgium pair, I think, coming in. Yeah. Another lefty. Man, Belgium beaters, all lefties.
Yeah, that's why they're successful. First beater pair stone for France.
I must say, quaffle players in Belgium do a nice job, but when they lose the beater battle, they spread really well.
Yeah.
They have very good idea of how to hold that quaffle while still being threatening. Which is good.
I really dislike So the Belgian beater is going to come into the frame here. Well, first of all, I didn't like Etienne giving up on this press. I think he could have pressed a little harder, even with a beater defending him. But then you're going to see the Belgian beater come in with a 2 hands. Oh no, it was just a kind of a hesitant throw. I thought she came in with 2 hands and threw it, which I never like to see. This is kind of that 2-sided thing you like to see from the beaters with the 1 beater behind.
Oop, that worked out. And even if that didn't hit the hoop, that Belgian beater in the back would have got that ball.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Too difficult of a pass there. There's no reason to try to loop it in that close to the hoops because you can't do a quick catch and release because there's somebody on every hoop anyway. You want to hit somebody where they can then drive off of it a little bit more. And it just ended up being a bad pass on top of that because it was a higher degree of difficulty.
Oh man, another shot.
Yep. Yeah, I think the Belgian beaters can't be that deferential, right? Like, Etienne cannot be standing in your keeper zone and you're still just letting it happen. Because that means that their quaffle carrier is going to get that deep too.
No, exactly. And the Belgian beater, not on the screen right now, did a good job in the beginning of being up more.
Yeah.
But I think he got pressured and got pushed back.
By the other beater?
Yeah.
Yeah, because like at this point it feels like when you have to throw at him, right? Like he's literally set up camp at this point in your keeper zone.
No, exactly. And you can, even if it's a double beat, you're just tapping right there.
Right.
Get back and play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they score. So Etienne whiffs on his beat, and it doesn't even matter because of how deep the quaffle carrier was in at that point.
Mm-hmm.
I think we have a stoppage here. Yep. I wonder what happened there because I feel like Belgium should have had a chance to break off that because Etienne's bludger had gone flying off the field. But I guess they were able to recover one way or another.
Oof.
Yeah, that's the pass you never want to make, right? If you're trying to spread out a zone, you always want to go around the outsides. You never want to throw this diagonal pass to the player who... Yeah, go ahead.
That's not like probably the longest pass you could possibly make.
Yeah.
In that setup.
And it's going over 3 of the 4 France quaffle defenders. Yeah. Just swing it one more time to the back there, and I think she would have had a good chance to drive from there.
Dolby.
Working from behind again. I like this idea of a France look that they've been throwing, but that one was a little hopeful.
Yeah, he got pressured by a beater.
Yeah.
I think he had to get rid of it. It almost turned into a goal.
Yeah. So I think with my biggest problem with this Belgian 2-2 is that I like using the keeper headband for that point defender, but that doesn't mean that your point defender has to be your keeper, right? Like, I feel like they're so short at the hoops because their tallest players are playing point defense with the keeper headband on. And that's why some of those shots have gone through.
Also, if you're up there, you can also step out of that keeper zone to try to make a hit.
Right.
Like, they're staying right at that keeper zone. you only back off when there's a beater pressure on you.
Yeah. And that's pretty deep to stand, and again, you don't have great hoop blockers. It was better. It had to work out, but I mean, at least they were moving the ball somewhat to draw that beat. It was honestly just a really good catch and release.
Yeah. Something I wish I think the Belgian beaters would have better success defensive. If this is what their chaser setup looks like, what the beaters can do is so right now, like the setup, the male beaters is the only one moving.
Right.
Only one moving. The back partner beater is barely moving. He needs to move around more. Ooh. That was a nice cut, though.
Oh, yeah, that's a really good cut. These hoops are. I think I said this in the Norway Belgium video too. Like, these hoops are rough for a continental championship. So I guess they're technically in like a hybrid zone where they're having two people where there's someone's covering man somewhere else and then the keeper's just standing at point defender. But either way, you can't get wrong side on the inside here if you're playing man out there. Yeah.
Yeah. Then France, after his call for turnover, France beater loses complete awareness of where they are in the field. Mm-hmm. You don't make that throw.
Oh no. The risk reward of that throw is just incredibly off.
Yeah.
Good ball movement again by Belgium. Like, they're finding the open people, which is good to see. Like, we saw what France was doing against the zone where they were just kind of frozen for a while. Like, Belgium was always trying to move the ball. But like you said, it was no bludger once he made that unnecessary throw.
Yeah.
This should be, I assume, another goal going the other way.
Yeah.
Yep. It's weird. It really feels like Belgium's running away with this game, and they're not running away with this game.
Yeah, they really should be. I really think it's just the theater play when Louis not in is just not, like, he's trying to make things happen. He's always constantly moving. He's constantly at least threatening to throw. Mm-hmm. And it's very obvious that the French chasers are all watching him. It won't go until he doesn't have a bludger in his hand. Which I think that's a problem, that France should be moving that quaffle, even if he has a bludger in his hand. You gotta make him work.
On the other side, though, it feels like since Etienne subbed out of the game, Louis playing the game completely differently. Like, look where he is on the field right now compared to where he's been playing on the field when Etienne was in the game. Mm-hmm. Like, we kind of sometimes tell our beaters to do that too. It's like, if you think you're the best beater on the pitch, like, you don't want to minimize your impact as the best beater on the pitch by kind of hiding your keeper zone. You want to maximize it by being a playmaker.
Yeah. And what Louis does a good job of in general is he starts up high and then is willing to go back.
Right.
But you can't lose track of the beater.
Yeah. Right after we talked him up, that happened.
Yeah.
Though I think his teammate's able to keep bludger control, but they have to give up a goal off of it. Now, why is it? I'm still trying to figure out what this Belgian defense does exactly. Like, I don't think if you're in a zone, you should ever be covering this player that's all the way out on the wing like this tightly. Like, this guy could be standing, I'd say, about at the keeper zone line and keeping an eye on that player, but like, you're so far out of the play here.
Yeah.
For minimal, and then he ball watches. Even worse. Not only was he playing that guy tightly, then he's the one who loses track of him, which gives up the goal.
It's so strange.
Yeah, it seems like they don't have a good idea of what to do with that extra person in their zone. They're like, we're going to put two people at the hoops and have our keeper play ball. And they're like, well, what do we want to do with this other person? Well, we don't really know. Again, they always only work it between those two people, it feels like. And that's why the hoop zone works if you just try to be a driver, just hard on it.
Yeah, just try to drive onto 3 people there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because they'll go to the left wing and back, but it seems to be the only pass they'll actually make until like something happens to give them an opportunity. I think France called a timeout. These are all replays. Rune Phoenix, just high production quality.
I know, it's great. Yeah, no, I've enjoyed watching these games and other European games. The film quality is always really, really good.
Yeah. I think it's Rure Phoenix, my bad.
Yeah, you put the Belgian, it's very...
Like, I can't tell you what that guy's responsibilities are on this play. He was like, what? Yeah, go ahead.
It feels like, to me, it's like 2 hoops, 1 person on ball, usually the keeper, and then another guy kind of floats, and like they're so dependent on that guy just being a smart defender.
Right.
But you can tell that he's just slow right now. Maybe it's really hot out, but I don't know. Like, it doesn't seem like a clear game plan for him.
Yeah, he started covering this flat pass. Now he's just in the keeper zone.
Oh, but did they switch
mid-play?
Did they switch to hoop zone?
Maybe. If that was communicated during the timeout, though, you feel like he shouldn't have messed it up initially off of it.
Yeah.
That was an unnecessarily aggressive throw by Louis, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he didn't have many chases with him either.
Yeah. Again, it's that low reward throw where even if you make the beat, like what's really going to happen there?
Oh, this French beater, I think his name is Cedric. He has a really good shift right now.
Yeah, he was a good calming presence in their game against Norway as well when NTN was having a bit of an iffy game. He's got 1.5 here. First 1.5 we've seen. So we didn't get to see it, but it looked like Louis did a really good job fighting around that 1.5.
Yeah, I think Cedric just underestimated the speed.
Yeah.
And also Louis, I think, got on his left, like he was able to free his left arm up. And that's where, like, when you do 1.5, like if you're not going to clearly like take someone to the ground, at least attach to the arm that they're throwing. Like attach to that arm. Or at least make it difficult so they can't easily throw around you.
Right. So would you ever consider here, and I don't know exactly where the French beaters are, so it's hard to say. So Louis is chasing his ball. His partner was next to the ball carrier. And at least 3 French quaffle players are behind the play, and at least one of them is off broom. Do you ever consider just running with your unarmed beater, knowing that the one French beater definitely doesn't have a ball right now, which means there's only one back there, and your beater could at least distract them, if not like get straight up bludger control off of them?
I really think it's all, like, for me, a lot of people get so afraid of that bludger. To me, it's all about the numbers. Like, if you have the advantage of numbers in any combination of beaters to chasers,
yeah,
it's always worth at least pushing it and then pulling out if you don't have it.
For sure.
Always worth pushing it.
It looks like they wanted to make a keeper sub anyway, so that's fine as well. It's just like they haven't looked good against the zone defense, so I'd want to play against the zone defense as few times as possible. Like that's something we tell our team when we're playing zones. It's like, let's minimize the possessions. We're playing half court.
Ooh, that was not good by French beaters though. That whole.
Oh yeah. So let's break that down.
Yeah. So that was a good exchange.
Right.
I think the female French beater right there, she thinks her partner has it.
Oh, so she presses.
She just goes straight tunnel vision at the keeper.
Yeah. Because Belgium's not doing anything. No, she looks back. Right here, you can see it. And then she just thinks he won the race with her.
I guess.
And she got the kickoff, yeah. And this is, again, good movement. To the wing, a little bit of a drive to force out. And yeah.
And she makes it beat. Like, if you do go that far and you know you're the only beater, you have to fake and keep that bludger.
But that was also the problem, right? She didn't know she was the only beater. Otherwise, I don't think she goes. And it looks like France immediately answered on a fast break goal.
Yeah, Cedric attacked Louis on the hoop.
I guess he got bludger control off. So I guess he probably chased down the ball that got kicked and then beat Louis in the fast break. Yeah. Stoppage.
No. Yeah.
Also, I'm curious.
That was the 1.5 attempt.
Yeah. I'm curious how tall that guy is on Belgium who received that alley-oop, because he looked like he was dwarfing everyone when he went up to get that pass.
They're big guys.
Yeah.
Belgium has some really big guys. Yeah, I remember playing against them. It was just like, I was always looking up.
I will say that in this game, I feel like Belgium, because the real ways to break down zones is to really use 4 players, right? Because everyone's going to be open. You want to use as much space. I'm not sure they've put the ball in the hands of a female chaser this entire game, which just feels limiting. Sorry, I've been having slow internet problems, and it's.
You're good.
Okay. Cool. Good reset, good press.
It might be for that beater, because she did the same thing where she kind of just went after one chaser. It might be a game plan.
Yeah.
Of they're trying to take out a certain quaffle carrier.
Well, that would make sense given that Belgium's been so unwilling to kind of work it to more people than like 2, I would say. This got messy. Penalty. I think they scored off the penalty. Yeah, France's fast break has just been so like they've always been ready to go. They go in numbers, they go immediately, and I don't think they've maybe scored like once on a shot in the half court, and I feel like it's just been a lot of good fast breaking.
It's good posturing, but that's a tough throw to try to make there.
Good movement. Did all his passing options get beat out? I guess so. Nice look.
Can you go back
Yeah,
to...
I want to see how they ended up out of options. Yeah.
Yeah. Right before the French beaters throw.
Right. Oh, so further back.
Yeah, further. Right here. Cool. So if you're Cedric here, just something for beaters is if you're posturing this double beat, if you see your opponent backing up like that, you know innately that they're not going to be aggressive beater, at least in this play. And so, like, you don't want to overextend yourself and make a bad throw. Like, if you want to make this beat, just get a little bit closer and guarantee it. Cedric tries to make this beat further out. I think he ends up actually beating him, but the ball just go way off, and Cedric gets really late to the play later.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say one of the things I've kind of been noticing, and again, I'm not the best at dissecting beater play, is like, I feel like a lot of these beaters are playing at a very high level, and if I had to slightly choose what looks a little different than what I see from at the very top American level, is that these players seem to just kind of choose a time that they're throwing in an exchange, and I feel like top American beaters are often reading the exchange, if that makes sense at all. Because like you're saying, like, once this Belgian player has his left foot back, he can't throw anymore in this play, or at least for 1 or 2 seconds until he regains his footing.
Yeah. Like at this point, that's such a far throw.
Yeah.
And I think Cedric comes back with the budget, so I assume he must have nicked that beat, but like that's such a tough throw to make. Right. There's a very low like that. The percentages of actually making that beat are just not advantageous at all.
Yeah. And again, France, the same play like you were talking about. She pushes high immediately, takes out one of the 2 ball carriers.
Yeah, that must be some game plan.
Yeah. So yeah, she does take. So that's why he has no passbacks, because she took everything out. And this is a great read by that French chaser to go get that ball.
Good spin move.
Another good spin move. Yeah. Yeah, for him to come off the hoops, to read the fact that they were low on passing options and to go running down the field to pick one off was really well done.
That was beautiful.
But like you said, I think that's what it is. They made a strategic adjustment to the fact that Belgium was like a 1-2 offense so much that they wanted to take out the 1 and 2 and make something else beat them.
Yeah, that time, yeah. Again, the long throw.
And again, they take out the 1-2. and force something else to beat them.
No butchers.
That was really slow to react to that. I didn't like that at all. Oh, great goal. So, I don't know how these two people, though, broke down 4 defenders. So, let's see.
No one's watching behind hoops.
Yeah. So, he wanted to kind of be the hero again and go pick off that passing option, and that's how it broke down. Because he's out here for no reason. Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, zones take so much discipline in what you're doing at every single moment because that's how you break them down. You wait for them to make a mistake usually. I would like to see, we're at 15 plus minutes and 70-70. I'd like to see these teams get their snitch-on-pitch beaters on to make plays for control, to have control at the time of snitch-on-pitch.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know what their sets look like. I assume it's not the sets they have on the field because they've been on the field a long time already and should not be playing snitch-on-pitch right after this. Bad possession there from France. Yeah, I think I just saw the Belgian sideline tell their beater one more. And it looks like France just made a female beater sub at least.
Yeah, I wish the Belgian chasers, I think if they just worked the ball more around, they've been getting good possessions when they get that quaffle moving.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Well, anytime it goes out to the wing here is when they start having success. It's when they kind of only keep the ball up top that they have less of it.
And one of the things, like, you have to remember, when you're a chaser and you have the quaffle, you have so much power.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a great cut and goal. You have so much power where, like, if you drive or you at least threat to drive, the defense has to shift to you. So you can manipulate defenses that way, and you can make, like, the job for a defensive beater so much harder if you actually active with the quaffle.
Right. Yeah, and this is just really, like you said, it was a great cut. And I think this is why a lot of people don't run the hoop zone. They run a 2-2 or something like that. There's just so much space around the field if 3 people are standing right on top of hoops. Yep, and there's France's sub. And I assume we'll see Louis probably on the next play as well. Now, up 10, up 10, almost 17 minutes, would you and Lulu make a large adjustment to how aggressively you play with bludger control?
The first thing we'd do, we'd make sure we communicate bludger control is priority. Mm-hmm. So, like, if we were being attacked at our defensive end, we would ignore quaffle and prioritize bludger control over anything else. Yep. But we definitely, at least how I play it, I don't try to play differently. At least where I take my stand on the field, just so it leaves it unpredictable. The team doesn't know what I'm trying to prioritize.
France attacking that same behind again. Oh man, that looked nice. But did they just throw that pass right back to where there were 2 beaters? Is that what happened there?
Beater attack and then.
Yeah, the other beater's just standing here. Yeah. Yeah, that was never going to work. Yeah, I don't like that possession from France without bludger control down 10 with 1 minute left before snitch-on-pitch. But they get rewarded because Belgium runs a really bad fast break.
Yeah. Yeah, if you don't have any beaters, like if it's going snitch-on-pitch, don't have any beaters, just keep the quaffle possession until snitch comes on.
Yeah. Which I would think they might do here now.
Oof. That was a little weird. for Louis on that play. He started off really high, but his partner and him were just so separated.
Right.
And
it seems like he's trying to position around Snitch already, basically, right?
Yeah, but going on Snitch-on-pitch, you want to have control of the Snitch, and so you want to have your partner with you.
Right.
If you're solo, if you're playing against good beaters and you're solo, you should lose. You should. But that position was really weird to me.
I'm just trying to figure out how the defense let a goal be scored there. Never mind what Louis or his partner was doing.
Louis could be aggressive on qualify right now, or partner goes help Louis take that position around Snitch.
So this is like one of the places we like to attack zones from, because you get the cutter behind and the cutter on the weak side. But I mean, so the player that is on the far side hoop needs to know that they are not defending a shot to that hoop right now, because there's literally no angle. So they're defending the space either slightly in front or slightly behind the hoop. They aren't actually guarding the hoop. But by guarding the hoop, it allows this guy to literally drift. I mean, this pass hits maybe 3 yards in front of the hoop. It should never be something you can do. All right, that's going to get us 80-80 to 18 minutes. I think we won't watch Snitch-on-pitch because it's going to get a little bit long at that point. So we'll stop it there. So what were your kind of major takeaways from this game?
It seemed like it was just back and forth. Like, it would seem like Belgium would get a full head steam, get up 2 goals, and then France would climb back, and then France would get up a goal. It was kind of all over the place. Neither team kind of controlled the pace of that game.
Yeah, I thought it was really interesting to see zones come out because we haven't seen that much in Europe. We were watching France against Norway last week, or I was, and France wasn't playing a zone in that game, so they must have broken it out either for this game or at some point in bracket play. I haven't watched all of the games. But there's definitely, you can see that they're kind of in the early stages. They haven't adjusted offensively or defensively. Defensively, they don't seem to have all of their responsibilities down. We saw Belgium, their player, just floating a couple times. We saw a France player come off the hoops and allow a backside pass. But offensively also, we saw France kind of stuck a little bit more centralized when they need to be moving to the wings. And we saw Belgium still trying to kind of run a 1-2 game instead of including all of their players and really doing good ball movement. Because when they moved the ball, they looked way better attacking France's zone. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and for the beater side of things, I think the biggest takeaway for at least this particular game is that aside from Louis on Belgium and
Etienne on France.
Etienne on France. The partners weren't really doing anything. They were always just pure backup. Where if you want to get to a really, really high level, your partners need to step up. And they need to start making big plays too, and you play off of that. Because as soon as your partner starts making big plays, your game gets easier. Just overall, the game gets easier, a little bit simpler almost in a way. And it just wasn't happening this game.
Yeah. I mean, maybe it's a lack of time playing with each other, but to my knowledge, the France team is mainly Paris Titans, and the Belgian team is mainly whatever the top Belgian club is, so I assume they're probably their partners in the regular season too. But if they're not, I mean, you definitely see things happen like that sometimes even with Team USA when we're playing pairs that haven't been playing together all the time.
That's true.
Yeah. But yeah, so everybody, thank you for watching. I'm sorry the video is a little choppy today. I'm not sure if it was my internet or what exactly. But thanks so much for tuning in, and please like and subscribe, and take care.